Hello everyone, this is the Insomnic, and I am back to continue my Lord of the Craft Let's Play. It has once again been a while since, well, let's see, I got pretty frickin' sick. What the hell happened here? There are so many more bunks. And I still don't have my bunk. Rubbish. Rubbish, I say. Is this supposed to be mine? I need a chest. I call rubbish. Alright, I closed almost everything I had open, but my frame rate's still shit. And now let's explore, because I don't really know what's in here too bad. Oh, I didn't read that sign, did I? Sparring pit. No maiming. No killing. What is this? What? Ooh, a nice wooden sword that I really want to take. Delver in the shit. Zane Wilkes sits down staring at the pillar. Where the hell is Zane? What? I don't see this guy, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Nice, nice. Alchemical grotto. Don't come in without an alchemist's permission. It looks like a frickin' acid cooking. Crystal meth, yeah. Looks like a crystal meth cook lab over there, but alright. Oh, that's where they are. Fallen giraffe. I have seen no real reason to stab him with the syringe and pump night sap into him. What the bloody hell did I walk into? That stuff is addictive anyways. I just realized why everything looks weird. It's cause my frickin' I think my texture pack is too old. Delver Artificer Dunny. Well, it's less lethal than hitting him with a board. And Myth says, you guys are doing that to art? Conspiracy! They're doing what to art? What to... Varlin's like, who got clubbed by a board? And I'm just like, you're doing what to art? What? Look. Or Dunny is like, look what you've done, Mithras. See, now I'm just super confused. Who is everyone? You are... Myth. Okay. Dark Elf. A creepy seeming Dark Elf. Alright. This is Regent Ev. Okay. Or Myth says, you're the one with the theories of conspiracy and evil elephants. What the bloody hell? He who drinks his own poison. What the hell is happening here? That was not entirely my fault, Dunny says. Who the hell's Dunny? Is this Dunny? Yes. He's a human. Serdian chuckles. Who the hell's that? Myth laughs. Yes, it was, I bet. Theories, not solid proof. Can someone please describe... no, can someone please tell me what the bloody hell is happening? Can someone please tell me what the bloody hell is happening? I am really confused right now. And I probably walked in at like one of the worst moments to walk in. Dunny says, we want to drug Zane? Why drug? Wait, are my settings too high right now? No, they're pretty low actually. And Giraffe says, I'll have no part in drugging him. And Dunny says, because it's less lethal than a bore to the face. And Giraffe says, you have manpower. Myth says, I'll go knock him out right now if you want. Varlin says, overpower him. And Dunny says, I was only joking, ... You don't joke about drugging people. It's not okay. Varlin says, oh. And Myth draws his sword, walking off to find Zane. Ceridian sighs, snuggling closer to Sen. Who the fuck are these two? Ceridian and Sen? And Varlin's like, you sure about that? And Dunny sighs, and he's like, oh, excellent. Dunny winks at Varlin. Did they want for that to happen? Myth shouts, Zane! I found more secrets on the pillar. Varlin rolls his eyes at Dunny. I am so confused right now. Valmir Aldane says, tell me! Apparently he wants to know the secrets in the pillar. And Dunny says, in OOC, my skin is broken apparently. Mrs. Upstairs, gate room, secret artifact room. Varlin walks off, and he keeps telling me you're missing your back and your arms. What the hell? Ceridian chuckles, sighing. Sen snickers before tapping Ceridian's nose. Who are these PDA? Who is like PDA everywhere right now? Well, I'm gonna relog. Alright, I'm back. Frame rate's a little better. It's because I was using the new launcher. I guess they drugged him. Oh, there they all are. Looks like this is Valmir Aldane, head chef and mage shield initiate. A high elf. There's that's Dunny, and this is, oh dear. Hey. Why the bloody hell did ya hit me? Okay, Myth. Oh, fine. Okay, so I guess Myth accidentally hit me. Trying to look at my character card, I'm just going to assume. Why did you have to drug Zane exactly? Zane's just like, oh man. And Varlin's now, he's like, I'll say this once, Dunny. Don't give people orders if you are not serious. Myth leans on his staff, inspecting the cell with his eyes, slightly confused. And Dunny says, we didn't. Valmir Aldane takes a small satchel attached to his belt and slides it into the cell. Looks like he threw in some carrots. And Varlin says, you may find yourself in a heap of trouble doing so. What is he throwing? Zane slams his fist on the ground, cursing under his breath. Sorry about that, guys. Dunny says, and Varlin, I was fairly serious about this. You can't just keep like... Oh my god, he's like, I wasn't serious. Oh, but I was serious. Drug him. JK, LMO, don't drug him. It's like, no. No, Dunny, it doesn't work like that. Zane gets up on his hands and knees. Varlin says, well, you say you were joking, correct? And Mage Shield Gwindor 12 bangs on the bars of the gate, his metal gauntlet causing a loud clang to ring out from the location. I'm assuming that word should be location. Then he says, only after I thought about what I said. Zane jumps forward, grabbing the bars, shaking them. Who the fuck is Gwindor 12? Who is this guy? Takes his helm off and puts it under his shoulder. And Varlin says, you knew. Stop trying to figure a way out of your wrongdoing. And Valmir says, Myth, can you let whomever that is inside? Oh, that's the main gate. I have no idea how to open that, so. And Myth says, huh. Alrighty, he says, beginning to start walking as he picks up his staff. I guess Myth is a mage. But, yeah, Zane's in jail, drugged. And Gwindor says, thank you. And Dunny says, I'm not. Do you have a guess as to why I asked for this to happen? And Valmir says, sorry, Zane, this is for your own good for now. Zane shakes the bar, he's screaming, let me out! And Myth says, you argued with him last month, Dunny. Gwindor Twill says, what's going on? Your guess is as good as mine, mate. So I have no idea what the frack is going on. Varlin grins at Dunny as he says, I have enough of an idea of what is going on. Oh, and Dunny says, oh, care to share? Oh man! Oh man! This is getting intense, guys. This is escalating. Gwindor says, ... I hope to nether Zane isn't involved this time. Myth grins slightly amused beyond Vala limits. Oh, he is. And Varlin says, must I? And Zane bangs on the bars. Dunny stares at Varlin, and anger growing in his eyes. Yes, please do. And Gwindor's just like, ... Valmir glares the others. Let Dunny and Varlin speak. Okay, Valmir. Wait, I just gave him such an epic voice. What the hell? Oh, right. I forgot to do these little voice things. Oh. Varlin widens as he sees Dunny's anger as he says, I think I'll keep it to myself. And Myth shouts, let your mother speak from her grave, matey! He yells jokingly. What the fuck? I like how a lot of the mages here are just insane. Gwindor starts to rummage through a leather book bag before withdrawing some crumpled notes and reading them over. Valmir glares at Myth and bares his teeth. What? Are we animals here? And Dunny's expression levels as he says, is that so? Varlin continues to stare at Dunny as he replies, indeed. Myth smirks, and then stops smirking, and sends his own evil glare whilst laughing slightly. Ha ha. Excuse me, I just burped. Oh man, these guys are just having a stare off competition. Oh dear. Dunny grins at Varlin. It's a shame I can't order you to share. Oh dear. Tensions are high right now. Valmir squeezes the grip on his fillet knife tightly before letting go with a deep breath. Valmir is pissed. And Zane is still shaking those bars, man. And Varlin just laughs at Dunny's comment. He's like, ha! Lols. Dunny says, it's also a shame you can't order me to back. Oh shit. Hey now. Let's not get wild up here. Alright, let's not get too wild up here. Gentlemen. Myth taps his finger on the staff, smiling as if not listening to the conversation. Varlin says, "Order? Why would I care to do that?" Gwendor taps his feet impatiently as he looks to Dunny, holding up the note as if they are important. Or as I'm guessing the note's important. And I'm like, hey now, let's not get too riled up here, gentlemen. And Meth says, yes, both of you love each other. Make up? And Zane's just screaming. Then he says, I can only imagine, Varlin. Gwendor said, shut up, Zane. You brought whatever this is upon yourself. I'll just fix that sentence. Dunny points a finger at Zane. Hush. I mean, you both got married last... It's interrupted by... What do you mean they both got married? Myth, what the hell? And Varlin grin widens as Dunny to the point of his gums showing as he turns and walks off. Oh dear. Oh wait. Then he says, were you saying something, Mithras? I'm not really sure what is happening right now. Like, literally what is happening. I'm assuming this happens often to Zane, I guess. Zane glares. Anger filling his eyes. He goes to the back wall, beginning to take a quill out of his pouch. And Myth is like, don't mind me. And he says, well, I appreciate the help. I'm like an observer right now. What is happening? I feel like a outside third party viewer. Myth turns to Selwell saying, someone gets some calming drugs. Someone gets some calming drugs. Zane sets down the inkwell on the stone bed. Looks like he's writing something. Donnie says, I'm simply concerned for his well-being, and I'm glad that you understand that. Gwendor says, may I speak with Zane? Literally, what is happening right now? Like, someone explain this shit to me. I am so confused. Miss says to Gwendor, you can from right there, can't you? Zane writes in giant letters, eternal. Oh dear. Gwendor clutches the notes as if they contain the secret to life itself. Valmir says, one person at a time. If you wish to speak with him, form a line. Well then, if no one wants to explain this to me, I'll be going. And Valmir says, anyone else clear the nether out? Why is that in slash? I was like, well then, if no one wants to explain this to me, I'll be going. And Valmir says, Zane is going crazy. Valmir stands in front of the fireplace with a slight grin on his face still. What the frag? What? Gwendor asks, did he touch the pillar? Valmir says the pillar is consuming his mind as all he does is watch it and not respond to anyone. Oh. Dunny says, I don't know. It affects everyone differently. Or so I'd assume. And Myth is like, oh shit, sorry. I used the bow, sorry. How do you accidentally shoot someone with a bow? What pillar are you guys talking about? Oh dear, everyone's trolling now. Let's get back to the role playing here. Now I'm like, what pillar are you guys talking about? Vomir's like, anyone have any damned questions? And I'm like, what pillar are you guys talking about? Sorry, mates, I haven't been here in a while. Zane takes the quill, nicking his arm with it. Okay. And Gwyndor says, just stay away from the pillar near the forge. Dunny says, the one surrounded by golden skulls. And Vomir says the same thing. The one with the skulls covered with gold in the main area. I'm just like, sorry mates, I haven't been here in a while. Gwyndor says, Dunny, I have some notes you might want to look at. Zane dips the quill in his own blood. Oh, writing on the wall beacon. Dunny says, oh? Gwyndor offers Dunny the notebook. Gwyndor says this might help the current situation. Then he reaches out, grabbing the notebook. Valmir says, is that blood? We might want to stop him. Myth's like, yeah. He says, not even bothered by it. Zane turns back, a devilish stare follows. Myth sighs. Zane twitches. Myth, get the damned pen. Valmir says. Myth says, open cell. Dunny reads the note and says, I'd like to speak to Zane alone, please. And he took the quill from him. Valmir says, search him and remove any dangerous objects. Zane is just staring at Myth. Do we have any, like, exorcists anywhere? Is that a thing? In Anthos? Exorcisms? Valmir really wants them to fight. Myth walks forward while holding his staff. Drop any weapons on the ground. Do we know of any specialists that can help Zane? Do we know of any specialists that can help Zane? Zane says in a violent voice, depends. What do you define as weapons? Oh dear. And Valmir says, Nienna is only able to treat wounds, I believe. Gwyndor says, everything pointy. Dunny grins at Zane. I like this Zane. He's clever. I don't like this Zane. He's mentally insane. Zane says, all I have is food, a quill, a book. Oh. Myth says, may I see the book? Zane steps back. You will not even think of looking at it. Gwyndor says, so, do those notes help at all, Dunny? Now Valmir's like, Zane, what's in the book? And Dunny's just like, I don't know if that thing helped me. Valmir says, we won't take it. Myth sighs and walks forward and aims a whack towards Zane's head with the stave. Dunny extends the book to Gwyndor. And Zane's like, nothing of your concern. Myth says, get in your right mind. Gwyndor accepts the book back. Valmir says, I am concerned though, Zane. This is some interesting roleplay going on. Zane ducks trying to grab the step. Oh dear. Oh man, it's escalating again. Myth, as the staff is yanked forward, he aims a kick towards Zane's groin. Not the groin. No. Zane never yanked it. Zane only grabbed. I think that should have been OOC, but you know. No wait, this sign right here. Delver Orman's residence. Don't knock. Piss off. Okay, I'm just gonna go back here then, because I have nothing else to do. That's Gwendor, yeah, that's what I thought. So, right. And Zane is kicked in the groin, falling to his knees. He's like, ah! Zane lunges forward, trying to tackle Myth's legs. Oh dear. Myth pulls one of his legs up in a stomping motion while his other one is grabbed. What? Wouldn't that make you fall? Myth, he attempts to stomp on Zane's head. Should we? That would kill me. Myth is like, eh. Shouldn't we try to stop them? Dunny says, well, yes. Dunny readies the syringe in hand. Can you open the cell door? I don't know how to open it. Sure. You ready? Ready, mate? God, they argue so much in OOC about their fighting. Dunny is attempting to counter it. What? Well, I opened it. Rolls to the side. Zane rolls to the side, letting go of Myth's leg. Zane gets up. Opens the gate. Go on. Dunny. Dunny walks in as the gate opens. Mithras, I think we should let him be. Minu opens the gate. Go on, Dunny. And Myth's like, the book compels him. Zane says, it's mine! Myth is like, see? Oh, Zane, you crazy bastard. Gwendor says, Zane, come to your senses. Gwendor sheathes his short sword. Pulls out his bow just in case. Gwendor sheathes his short sword. Myth walks towards Zane, aiming another smack downwards at Zane says, I am in perfect sense. None of you are. Then I pull out my bow, and then Dunny's like, Dunny reaches out, hoping to place a hand on Myth's wrist. Zane's head with the staff, attempting to knock him out. Oh, downward at Zane's head. Okay. Zane is knocked out. Great. Well, that could have been solved slightly better. Now I put away my bow since he's knocked out. And Myth says, you can search him now. I owe myself a thank you. Wait, what? Dunny says, I was hoping to ask you to stop, but I can see I'm late to this. Dunny releases Myth's wrist, moving forward to Zane. Zane's left wrist has a small bleeding hole in it. How wonderful. Just wonderful. Dunny kneels down next to him, bleeding. Dunny says, he reaches to search him for the book. Oh dear, I just like walked in on this, and this is still pretty compelling, to say the least. Oh, looks like he got the book. Myth keeps his stave ready for resumed attack if need be, not lowering his guard. And looks like Dunny got the book now. Dunny takes the book out of his pouch, opening it. Well, this is like a decent cell. I mean, I think so. And Myth says, may I read it too? I knocked him out. What? Someone is hitting something. Who the hell is hitting something? And killed the giant monster chicken, says Myth. Myth shrugs. Seriously, a lot of these magicians are just insane. Or just, like, no fucks given about anything. Then he says, he extends the book to Myth. What is in the book? What is in the book? Someone is hitting something somewhere and is bothering me. Myth takes it gratefully, smirking slightly as he begins to open it. It's interesting, Dunny says. What's in the book? What's in the book? What does it say? Gwyndor asks. Dunny says it starts out sane, but then it goes a bit wonky. May we all have the chance to read the book? May we all have the chance to read the book? And Gwendol's like, may I perhaps read it after? Whoever's hitting shit somewhere in this Cav Temple thing, like, damn. Dunny shrugs. Myth says, this should be archived in the library. It's better than half that stuff. What? Dunny says, I knew the knowledge in that book already. Well, I don't know the knowledge in that book. So you should let me read it. Then he says, in fact, the last page are our words exactly. What are these what are these slashes for? Someone tell me in the comment section, please. You can't just tell us that. Oh, see. Oh, whoops. Zane will probably kill himself if it got taken from. Are you serious? Come on, come on now. And who the hell is Venom? Is that his other name? Oh, that's his Minecraft username. The Myth is like, would you mind if I left you some minas in return for the book? Like 20. And Zane's like, Zane would probably kill himself if it got taken from him. And Myth is like, oh, what if he got 50? I don't think monetary value is the issue here, Myth. That's what I thought. Zane's like, he wouldn't sell it if you tried to give it. And Donnie's like, I think he's attached to the book. Myth sighs, chucking the book to the ground near Zane. Donnie says, taking it might have negative effects. Myth says, hand me a quill. Well, finally, they stop frickin' whatever hitting something. Myth extends his other hand. Hey, is that Varlin? Then he hands Myth a small quill for writing notes. I'm out of ink, he says. Gwyndor says, I have some ink. And Mine Lord Polgrath is like, what goes on here, men? It's like, please bring the ink over here. And Gwyndor's like, ah, sir, Zane went a bit, crazy. There are so many people in this prison cell now. Gwyndor passes the Myth some ink. And Mine Lord, apparently he's like a high-ranking guy. Mine Lord's just like, yeah? You? What is that? Marlin walks into the hallway as he folds his arms behind his back. Thank you, Myth says whilst writing something into the crazy man's book. Gwyndor says, I have some notes from before this, if you want to read them. Then he says he's obsessing over the pillar. His notebook is full of ramblings and knowledge of it. And Barlin's like, hello, Mine Lord. Oh, Zane's waking up. And Dunny says that his notebook is full of ramblings and knowledge of it. That we're jealous of its power? Okay. Mine Lord is like, greetings, Varlin. And Dunny says, or afraid of it. Mine Lord says, someone pass me that notebook. Myth walks forward to pull. Zane opens his eyes, arg. Mine Lord's like, thanks, C. I think he's waking up, guys. I think he's waking up, guys. Dunny kneels down to Zane, reaching for his wrist. Zane's like, arr. Myth holds his stave ready. Dunny says, shh, Zane. And Polgrath is like, I see. It's like, what? Gwyndor is like, want me to bash him over the head with a mug? Myth attempts to smack Zane again with the staff. And Dunny's like, it's fine. You're all fine. Polgrath says, all of you out of the cell. Except the mad one. Aye, sir. Zane glares at Dunny, then gets smacked with the staff. Zane is knocked out. Dunny looks to Mythos. Was that necessary? And Myth walks out of the cell whistling. Oh god, Myth, I love you. And Myth is like, yes, it was. And Polgrath is like, come now, Dunny. Oh, who closed the fucking gate? I really can't believe that guy just went AFK like in front of the frickin' not Varlin, who is this? Frickin' Valmir just went AFK right there. Jesus. Varlin grins at Dunny. Ooh. Dunny looks to Mind Lord. Can I speak with him? Mind Lord says, very well. Shut the door, Valmir. Valmir is AFK. I'm like 98% sure. And Gwyndor says, I will stay here to guard if you want. Is that like a permanent grin on this guy's face here? It's either a grin or like this is like a dot maybe. And Mind Lord says I have an assignment for a mage shield or two as well. Ah, okay then. Well, first, can I get perm, please? Still can't access my chest. That's a problem. Varlin watches Dunny, and Mind Lord says, "Who amongst ye is a half-decent map maker?" Myth is like, sort of. Dunny remains kneel to Zane, waiting for him to wake up. Oh, thanks. I'm recording right now. And Mind Lord's like, "Oh, sure, great video, by the way." I was like, "Oh, thanks." People know me. I'm famous, guys. Zane, he woke up pretty fast from that beating. And Zane stirs, opening his eyes again. He's like, ugh. Oh, Myth. Oh, Myth is just like, oh, hi, YouTube. Zane feels for his pack. Gwyndor has his hand on the hilt of his short sword. Dunny's like, bad Myth, no speaking to people. Mind Lord says, ah, pardon me, Nu. Here's your key. And Gwynder's just like, don't kill me, YouTube. Receives the key. Thank ye, sir. And Zane's like, it's been moved! Who read it? Who? Dunny's like, Zane? It's fine. Your note is here. Dunny says, no one read it, Zane. Just calm down. Zane's like, who touched it? I wish I could do like a more like deranged voice, but I can't. Just do a raspy voice. Gwynder's like, sir? Zane twitches violently. Oh dear. Mind Lord's like, yes, sir? Dunny says, no one touched it, Zane. When you fell to the ground, it fell out of your pack. Oh dear. Gwyndor offers some notes as he took on Zane earlier to the Mind Lord. Or that he took on Zane earlier to... What? Okay. Myth whispers, permission to knock Zane out again. Then he says, could you explain the pillar to me? It's quite intimidating in its power. We should probably stop hitting him. I don't think his mind anymore is good for him. Then he says, could you explain the pillar to me? It's quite intimidating in its power. Sorry. Varlin shakes his head to trying to knock out Zane again. Mind Lord takes Gwyndor's notes, and Zane breathes heavily, taking it out, flipping through it. I was like, we should probably stop hitting him. And Myth is like, nah. I was like, I don't think scrambling his mind anymore is good for him. Oh, and Zane's like, someone wrote in it. Grah. Dunny reaches out to grab Zane's wrist. It's fine, Zane. It's all fine. And Pograth is like, intriguing. The madness runs deeply. And Zane's like, no, it's not! Varlin continues to watch Dunny. Varlin and Dunny have this rivalry. I don't know what's going on between them. And Mind Lord's like, I believe a meeting is in order shortly. Gwyndor draws his short sword and looks at the cell. Zane says, who wrote in my private research? Dunny's like, Zane, please, help us understand the pillar. It's terrifying. Mind Lord says, Dunny, wrap up your business with Mad Zane shortly. Varlin says, alright, Mind Lord. Mind Lord says, we have much to speak of, including this. And Zane looks to Dunny, forgetting about the research log, throwing it aside. Zane sits up. Myth holds his stave. Zane says, you want to know about the pillar? Dunny smiles as Zane sits up. Yes, Zane, we all do. Zane twitches at the word pillar. Oh dear. Oh. The gate opened for a bit. I should eat some bread. Gwyndor sheathes his short sword but keeps his hand on the hilt just in case. Oh man, guys, Zane's about to do the big reveal here. And Zane says, "It is not intimidating. It is not something to be afraid of." Zane calms down a bit. Wow, there's like a thunderstorm going outside in Minecraft right now. Mindler says, "Alright, you bunch. Let's clear out and head to the meeting chambers." Now Varlin says, "I." And Zane's like, "People misunderstand it. A lot." Well, Mir just came back. Varlin Joffrey turns and walks off. I really want to hear what the pillar's about. Zane says, "They see it as fear. They are wrong." I should probably go with Mind Lord, but I just really want to listen to what the pillar's about. But, okay, whatever. Mind Lord says, Palmer says, "You there, with the white hair." Who the fuck is Archibald Valero? Yes. Keep an eye on these two. I need to speak with Polgreth. Alright, I guess I get to watch them anyways. Let's see, Zane says, "They see it as fear. They are wrong." Zane says, "It is bringing out weakness in people. They mistake it for fear." Then he says, "I know. The pillar shows you what you fear, what makes you weak, yes?" Zane says, "People who touch it, it means they are strong enough not to have weakness." Varlin seems to want to say something to me. Zane says, "I haven't touched it yet. I will. Soon." Or I guess Varlin doesn't want to say anything to me. Sir. Let's see, Zane. Then he says, "Zane, touching the pillar is dangerous." And Varlin says, "We are needed in the throne room. Have Dunny finish up. Then you two report." And Zane says, "I will delve deeper into its secrets." And I was like, "Aye, sir." And Zane says, "Danger. Dangerous." Then he says, "I touched it once, and I wasn't sure who I was anymore." Dunny, hurry up, mate. Meeting has been called. Farland's like, "Meeting in the throne room." And Dunny says, "It made me see the world differently." I'm like, "Dunny, hurry up, mate. Meeting has been called." Zane is like, "Because you had the guts to not be weak." Zane says, "You saw the world for what it is. The truth." "But Zane," Dunny says, "I can't touch the pillar now. I can't get close to it anymore." And I'm just like, "Dunny, Mind Lord has called a meeting in the throne room. Continue your talk with the madman after the meeting." And Zane says, "It is a beacon of truth." And I'm just like, "My lord has called a meeting in the throne room. Continue your talk with the madman after the meeting." Then he holds up a finger at Minu in a shh gesture. Oh dear, Zane says, "I am no madman. I am perfectly sane. You are all mad." Bloody hell. Zane gets up, flinging himself against the bar. "Zane, calm down. He doesn't understand. Not like we do." And I'm just like, "Oh, bloody hell." Then he says, "Let it be, Zane. We can't explain this. We can explain to him when he is ready." And Zane's like, "None of you understand." It's so frustrating. Oh god, he's just hitting the bars. Calm down, Zane. Please calm down, Zane. He's just shaking the bars violently now. Then he moves to place a hand on Zane's shoulder. Zane, calm down, let it go. We will make everything alright in time, then he says. And Valmir's like, meeting in the throne room. Leave, Zane, come now. Dunny won't leave, sir. And Zane says, you don't seem to understand either. Zane says that everything is alright. This is creepy shit, man. This is some creepy ass shit, I gotta say. Alright. Valmir, please help me. And Zane's like, everything? Oh man, he's in all caps now. All caps now. Then he says, I know, Zane. I know I don't understand. That's why I came to you. Zane runs to the back wall, pounding on it with his fists. Shall we leave them, sir? Shall we leave them, sir? I bloody hell think we should. Dunny's not coming out, and Zane is just insane. Zane slinks down to a sitting position. Come on, Valmir. Valmir says, it's an order from Palgrath of most importance. Dunny, Palgrath commands you to come to meeting. You may continue this conversation with Zane later. Valmir says, Dunny, we're all needed now. We shall return to Zane soon. And I said, Dunny, Palgrath commands you to come to this meeting. You may continue this conversation with Zane later. Zane rocks back and forth, hugging his knees, not seeming to want to talk anymore. Zane, I'll be back soon. Be safe, and don't lose sight of what is true. Farland walks up and he says, open the gate. Aye, sir. Valmir says, no more wasting time. Come now, Dunny. Zane, everything will be solved. I'll help you. Let's go. Mind Lord's orders. Dunny turns around, walking out of the cell. Valmir grabs Dunny's shoulder and lightly pulls it. Jesus. Close that gate. Closing. We will return, Zane, Valmir says. I actually have no bloody idea what the throne room is, but what's Varlin doing? Varlin looks at Dunny as he looks for the syringe. What is going on here? Dunny has it in his right hand still. Shall we get going then, sir? Varlin says, Looks like Varlin really does not trust Dunny. He says, Varlin's like, let's go. I literally have no idea where the throne room actually is, so Zane takes out the book, writing in it. Oh, that's great. I am assuming he touched that thing. Do they not know where the throne room is? God.